Cool evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Cool evening. It's that time of year, right?
That's right.
Happy Thursday. Welcome to KGRA, our home, and where some of the people that we love are. We're really happy to be here tonight. We don't want to talk a whole lot because we're excited to bring in our guest, and I know he has an awful lot to say. He was actually at Michigan UFO Contact and got some great reviews. So you want to?
Yeah, I'll introduce our guest. Okay. David Dominique is a retired senior special agent with a major 3-letter federal law enforcement agency. We won't say which one. You might want to. He is an expert witness in federal and state court in digital/computer and cell phone forensics, including digital images analysis, and has testified as an expert witness on these and other subjects numerous times in federal and state courts. David possesses a master's degree as well as having a PhD study, headed a college criminal justice department, and has instructed college courses at 2 colleges and 2 universities. David first became interested in the subject of UFOs at a young age. He learned about the Roswell story from his father, circa 1978. He has been reading and studying UFOs and such things ever since, and has become well-read and versed in many different aspects of ufology and UFO lore. Since his retirement, David has conducted research on various topics, including potential real U.S. secret space program that may actually surprise you, the real dangers that the asteroid Apophis, I believe how you say that, poses to the Earth in April of 2029, as well as other topics such as the Younger Dryas impact theory as it relates to ancient humanity, lost civilizations, and their technology in 2013. David attended digital forensics training for the federal government that was being given by a government U-2 pilot who flew over Area 51, turned government contractor, where the pilot made statements regarding UFOs and the status of American space and related scientific technology in possession of the government. David also has had occasion to become aware of what likely lay beneath Wright Patterson's Air Force Base. David has had 4 major UFO sightings during daylight hours, and one of which in 1987 was approximately 200 feet away. Everybody welcome David Dominique.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Great to see y'all.
Great to see you, and welcome and love to our listeners tonight.
Yes, everybody, hi.
How are you doing, Dave? We haven't
I'm
seen
well.
you
How are
since
you guys?
UFO Contact.
Yeah, it's
Doing
been a little
good.
bit, but
Yeah.
it's great to be here. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
It was a great event, and I appreciate you guys finding some time for me to speak to everyone. There's things people should probably hear and things people should probably know.
Right. Yeah, I can say that, we do surveys during the event,
Mm-hmm.
and people fill them out, and, we have an area where they can list some of their favorite parts of the conference, and you were one of those favorites on many.
Great. I'm
Yeah.
honored.
So
I am so
kudos.
honored, and you know what? I'll come talk to you guys anytime.
Wonderful.
I appreciate the opportunity to do so.
Good.
No, I know, we know with you, we're not going to have a problem talking about all kinds of things tonight. We can go anywhere with you. I'm sure we can. But a couple of things I would like to get into, if it's okay with you guys. I would like to have your opinion on the 3-eye atlas. That's one of them.
Okay.
I would like to know more about your excursions that you've been doing in the last 6 months. Okay. So let's start with those excursions. Well, our listeners don't know it. David does a lot of the cryptid and the Sasquatch excursions too, with his good friends Jason and the She Squatchers. So maybe you can start there. Where have you been in that?
Yeah, that's great. It's always fun to hang out with Jason and the She Squatchers. Any opportunity I get to do that is just wonderful. Good people. And I've been in a number of their episodes, and kind of semi-regular, I guess. When we get together, we go out and we do research. We have a lot of fun in the process. Jason is amazing to hang out with. The She Squatchers are amazing.
Yes.
It's always a great time. Gwendolyn too. Hi, Gwendolyn. Amazing people to go out with, deep in the woods.
Right.
Sherry Barcia. Hi, Sherry. So it's a great group. And we spent some time this summer, actually a few different times this summer, but the last of which we were up by Cross Village in Michigan. And if you don't know Cross Village, everybody does this from Michigan, right? Cross Village is way up here. Mackinac City and the bridge is right there. Cross Village is about right there. So it's
beautiful area.
It is Wilderness State Park. And the last several times, at least the last 4 times I've been in Wilderness State Park, I've run across black bear alone. So they're out there. Cats are out there. And cats are probably more dangerous in the woods than black bear. If you're alone and there's a cat and he's hungry, they're going to stalk you, they're going to follow you, and they could attack you. So that concerns me a little bit more than black bear. But what concerns me the most in the woods, not even Bigfoot, it's the guy in the clown suit with the axe. That's what concerns me in the woods, guys.
Yeah.
So,
any advice if you keep on one of those? What do you do?
Right. Go the other way. Don't listen to them, and don't go their way. Right. So anyway, I just had to reset my screen here. Is my audio okay, guys?
Yeah, everything sounds
great.
Good.
You look great.
I can hear you, and wonderful. I'll try to do a little bit more refinement in further episodes on my background and stuff, but I'm glad it works. So anyway, we're up at Cross Village. We're deep in the woods. We were easily 8 miles away from anybody, really, and really remote. It is a forgotten part of the park that nobody really goes to anymore. And for those of you who don't know, there is a lake. It's called Wycamp Lake was the old name. It is now Spirit Lake. Native Americans got it back from the government in about 1985, and they renamed it. But the government retained all of the land north of the lake, which is now Wilderness State Park. So we were deep into the woods here. And we've been deep into the woods in the Upper Peninsula. I've been many times. I just got back from up there about a week ago. So I'm kind of readjusting my life to being back in the South. And I've been out in the woods and off grid much of the time, actually. No cell service kind of stuff. But we're out in the woods, and we had a really good time researching together. One thing that happened that was kind of funny, kind of fun, kind of funny. But Jason and I, after dinner one night, and we had cooked some meat on the grill, but after dinner, we were standing on the edge of camp, and about 50 or 60 yards away was the woods. And between us and the woods, there was sand. There's a lot of sand up there for those of you who don't know. And we're standing there checking the cameras and everything for later. And he says, Dave, I see some eye shine in the woods. Do you see that? So we looked over there, and yeah, they're there. It's there. So then Jason and I are standing really close to one another, and I kind of whisper to him, okay, here's what we're going to do. Get your camera recording. I'm going to get my phone recording. Okay. And then we are going to turn on our lights, and then we are going to charge the eye shine in the woods. Okay. So great idea. Nothing can go wrong here, right? Nothing can go wrong. So we turned on the lights. We took off running towards the woods, towards the eye shine, and we got about 10 or 15 feet from the edge of the woods towards like the end of the sand, when the sand started and the woods started. And I stopped him really quick. Hold on, wait, stop right here, Jason. And then I looked down in the sand, and we shone our lights at an oblique angle against the sand, and there were what appeared to be bear prints there. So that told us we just likely charged a black bear. So after this happened, whatever it was, presumably a black bear, went running through the woods, and you could hear all sorts of commotion going through the woods. But I think it was attracted to camp by the smell of cooking meat on the grill for dinner, of course, right? So I'm fairly confident it was a black bear. I'm glad it wasn't a large cat. And I can tell you, about a year ago this time, I was over by Irons, Michigan, and we were camping again, and out in the middle of nowhere, basically, 5:30 in the morning. I had my recorder going, and I recorded what sounded like a banshee screaming. It sounded like a banshee screaming, something evil. I recorded it. Say, "Hey, Jason, do you hear that?" Jason, I woke him up. We listened. It was about a half mile away from camp. And we packed up after it was the last day. We packed up and got out of there. But as soon as we got internet access, we started to research. Gwendolyn, hats off to her. She was the one that came up with the match before any of us. She knows about stuff like that. She's really good with that stuff. But she came up with a match. What I recorded was mountain lion in Michigan. And there have been 125, the number's really low, confirmed mountain lion sightings in the entire Midwest, United States in the last 20 years. So for me to record this thing was pretty cool. I had the recording, but even more frightening than that, all of us all night heard something that was walking around camp. Just outside camp all night. And then I record what appeared to be a mountain lion a half mile away from camp in the morning. So quite possibly the mountain lion could have been right on the edge of camp all night. And that's what we had heard. So
yeah, they stalk you.
They will.
Yeah. Now I do know because I grew up, spending a lot of time in the woods. Bobcat will do that sound as well, but it's a little bit different than mountain lion. And mountain lions are here. I saw one probably 40 years ago in Michigan. They're here.
They're definitely here. And funny you say bobcat. In 2018 or 2019, I was in another state park hiking. It was night. It was very dark. All this happens when it's night and when it's dark, right? Not during the day, but I did a lot of night hiking back then, and I still enjoy doing a lot of night hiking. It's my time of day. I like the tranquility. I like sunset, just post sunset. It's just really beautiful. But I was hiking the back part of the state park, and I was on a trail. And as I was going down this trail, which was not very wide, maybe 6 feet, and then the woods picked up on either side. I saw some eye shine, but I saw it too late. I flashed my light, and the eye shine was like right there in front of me, and perched on a branch of a tree. It was about no more than 6 feet away from me. It was like right on top of me when I saw it. Perched on a branch, ready to pounce, was a very large bobcat.
Yeah.
Probably as big as like a Sheltie dog. Yeah. And it just sat there and looked at me. So I reached down. I carry a hiking knife with me, a hunting knife, whatever. I unsnapped it, and I quietly pulled it out. And I'm just thinking, okay, if you're going to attack me, at least I'm going to get a piece of you too, buddy. Right. I didn't feel fear at the time. They can sense fear, but it was there. It was ready to pounce. And they go for the throat. Cats go for the throat because you bleed out pretty easily.
Try to smother you too. Yeah.
Exactly. It's a quick kill for the prey. So yeah, those of you out there that don't know that, cats, yeah, they go for your throat. It's the first thing they do. So I just kept this thing lit up as I walked by it, less than 6 feet away from this thing. And it was staring at me, and I had the advantage because I had the light, and I kept it blinded as much as I could as I moved around it slowly, and just kept on my way. So later, I think the next day I called and stopped by. I didn't even call, but I talked to the park rangers, and I told them where I saw it. They think that it had a few young with it, is why it didn't pounce or didn't retreat. But they said, yeah, that was definitely a once in a lifetime encounter that you had there with this bobcat. So,
well, I can tell you the bobcat are a lot stronger than people know. I mean, they're very powerful. Now, let me ask you this: when you're out searching for Sasquatch, do they have a certain eye shine different than other animals?
Yeah, they're reported as different. And I had a nice chart that I put up on Val Zavala's Facebook page. It's Michigan Bigfoot Reports and Data, Gumshoe guy. Highly recommend it. The guy he's well studied. He has profiled Bigfoot like he would a serial killer. He's a retired detective sergeant from a Metro Detroit police agency. But anyway, I put on his Facebook page, it was a chart with the different types of eye shine that are common for different animals. So people report anything from white, yellow, whatever. But I had an encounter. It was in 2018, a roadside encounter with something. I don't know what it was. It was an unknown. I saw it backlit against the night sky, and what I saw had blazing red eyes. So people report different eye shine associated with Bigfoot.
Okay.
And as far as Bigfoot goes, I'm not 100%. When I see one, I'll tell you for sure. I have had UFO encounters that I've seen with my own eyes.
Yeah.
One of which I was on duty as a police officer in Ohio, and I can tell you for sure they exist. What they are, I'm not sure. But in terms of Bigfoot, I've seen some unexplained things, but I really need to see something that's irrefutable for me to be 100%. I think the possibility is extremely strong that there is something out there that has yet to be identified. And I can tell you for certain, having worked for the federal government, there's a lot of things that they do not want the public to find out about. And Bigfoot is one of them, because it would pose a really huge threat. And it would alarm the public. So things such as that, it's best, they think it's best that the public doesn't know about them. So in terms of the eye shine, different people have recorded different eye shine: yellow, greenish, red. What I saw on the side of the road that one night was blazing red, and it was, whatever it was projecting evil, was projecting fear onto me that was not my own. I've been a street cop, and I've been in car chases, I've been in fights, I've been into many bar fights with bike gangs. So I don't scare easily. But somehow that whatever it was projected fear onto me that was not my own. And it felt evil. It felt like it was going straight to my soul. And it was standing next to a tree about 60 feet away. And it was kind of backlit a little bit against the night sky. And it was darker than dark. It had no neck, about 7 to 8 feet tall. Its arms hung down almost to the knees. And I could tell that. And when I drove by it, there was a line of trees and then a house, and then a tree next to the house was standing next to the tree with those blazing red eyes. And then I saw it. It took about 20 seconds really for it to register what I had just seen. And I was already down the road. I was driving. I wasn't asleep because I would have wrecked the car. Visual hallucination. I would have wrecked the car. But it took 20 seconds to register, and then I came up to the stop sign at the end of the street, and I had to decide whether I would go back and take a better look or whether I would keep going. So, I decided it was probably the better decision at that point. Let's just keep going. let's just keep going because if I go back, you don't know what's going to happen. So.
So I have to ask you, David, wasn't that not enough to convince you that it's out there?
I know it's something that was unknown.
Right.
We are only barely aware of our existence here on Earth. We can only see a very small portion of the visual spectrum, the audio spectrum. The same thing. What is reality? Reality is our ability to perceive, our senses. If you think about it, we are in an endless sea of atoms, in an endless sea of energy and frequency. Everything comes back to energy and frequency. And even the Bible says that God spoke the universe into existence, frequency.
Right.
If you go and look at like the cathedrals, their windows are shaped at certain frequencies. Like if you took sand and put it on a board and then projected sound underneath it, different frequencies make different patterns in the sand. If you go to the churches and look at their big windows, they have some of these same patterns. So there's, I think, a hidden secret there as well. But getting back to our reality, is our ability to perceive the energy and frequencies around us. And I think certain people, their radios are tuned a little bit differently. They can perceive a little bit bigger bandwidth than other people, and those people can experience like things that we would call paranormal. Maybe there's an entire universe of people that exist in a parallel world, in another dimension, right beside us, and who can see everything that's going on in our world. There is so much we don't know about. The many worlds theory, I'm sure you guys have heard about that. Quantum entanglement theory. And the scientists now believe that we have 11 dimensions. We live in an 11-dimensional universe where our 3 dimensions are but a shadow of a higher dimension. So if you think about that a little bit, okay, if we are a shadow of higher dimensions, then what are we in this higher dimension? What is our existence?
Right.
So I completely believe in the quantum entanglement theory, and there's something called the double slit experiment. I don't know if you guys ever researched it or know about it, but basically it says when they shot photons through a plate with 1 and then 2 slits, okay, they create wave patterns, and 1 slit will create 1 wave and 2 slits should create 2 waves. And that worked all fine and well until they put a video camera on it to record the experiment. And then when it was observed, they call it the observer effect. When it was observed, then it did something completely different than what it was expected to do. So to me, that says that consciousness is a wave. Consciousness exists everywhere. I think it permeates everything. I think it's a wave that literally penetrates every atom, everything. So that might be a little bit too deep for you guys right now.
No.
We love it.
I've seen that and looked at it and read about it. Maybe I'm not an expert at it, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. So
yeah.
Well, even in the years that we did a lot of paranormal investigating, ghost hunting.
Yeah.
I have always wondered, okay, where are these voices coming from?
Yeah.
Is that spirit? Is that another dimension? Is it us?
Exactly.
Is it aliens? We just don't know. So yeah, you're barking right up.
All right.
For sure.
So yeah, and I honestly believe if aliens are here, and if they've come here, if they do get here, that in order to close the vast distance of space, that they're jumping across dimensions in order to do so. I think that there's a shortcut for them to get here. By no means are they traversing the trillions of miles in order to get here. So anyway, 1 second. I think I have background noise going on. Are you guys picking that up or not?
What is it?
Background noise?
Yeah, it's
You are?
Okay. Sounds like a dog or something.
Yeah, I think so. So I tell you what, give me 1 second here. I'm going to take off my head. I'm going to take off my headset here, and I'm going to kill that noise. Well, not kill the noise, but I'm going to right. I'll be right back.
Okay.
So when he comes back, one thing I would like to ask, and I'm curious if anybody in the audience would like to know the answer, is what his thoughts are on alien Bigfoot connection. Are Bigfoot extraterrestrials, interdimensionals, a planet animal? What are they? So does anybody want to know that?
Okay, I'm back now.
That was quick.
There we go.
That was quick.
Well, it was quick.
It was quick, right? Yeah, still working on it. Okay, that'll be good. We'll be good now. So, perfect. Apologize about that. I try to.
We're easy going, easy flowing.
We have rescued wiener dogs for the last 20 some years, and usually we have about 4 of them at a time. So that's one of the rescues.
It's all good. We're all animal lovers. So.
Yeah. Anyway,
so I decided while you were away, Dave, that when you came back, I wanted to ask you your thoughts on UFO, aliens, or extraterrestrials and Bigfoot, what the connection might be, and if you think that possibly Bigfoot might be extraterrestrial.
Yeah, that's a great question. Wouldn't we all love to know, right?
We would.
So actually, that is one of Val Zavala, Bigfoot reporting data, right? That's one of his big things, actually, and he has a lot of data. He has a lot of reports that he shared with me that make a connection between Bigfoot and UFOs. Like there's a major UFO sighting. I'm remembering one right now. I think it was New York, New Jersey, where these kids, they're out at a lake and it's secluded, and they had their car there and they went swimming and hung out. I think it was 2 guys and 2 girls. They were young kids, and they saw a UFO hovering above the woods. And then right after the UFO experience, their car wouldn't start. So the guys had to run into town several miles away, to get help to get the car started so they could get out of there, and the girls stayed behind. And while the girls stayed behind, within the same time period, they had something they described as like a Bigfoot creature come up to the car and start trying to like hit the car. They were trying to get into it was trying to get into the car, and to the point that they were terrified. And finally, the boys came back with the tow truck or whatever, and they got out of there, and everyone was safe. But there's just a number of reports like that where immediately with or immediately after a UFO sighting are Bigfoot reports. And you can't discount the possibility. Are Bigfoot's aliens? I don't know. And what are aliens? Are aliens us from the future coming back through time? Do they come from a different dimension? Do they come from a different place in the universe? I think science has progressed to the point, Deb, RJ, that they're willing now to admit that it is extremely likely that we are not alone in this universe.
Right.
When I was a kid growing up, and probably for you guys as well, right? The big question was, were there other planets like those in the solar system out there somewhere? And it was huge. It was huge, when they finally discovered this huge gas giant planet that was, far away, and it was huge. And they measured the light shift basically in the wobble of the planet as it went around a sun, another star.
Right.
So even, you go back 50 years and, they were questioning whether or not other planets existed, for Pete's sake. Now, I really think that science has come a long way, but they've got a lot farther to go in admitting things. One of the things they need to admit is that they don't know everything. When they admit that they don't know everything and there is much to be learned, then maybe science and understanding of these things, such as UFOs, Bigfoots, can move forward.
Right.
But first, they need to admit that they don't know it all, and there's much out there that's unknown. I am convinced there are things out there that we don't know about, that the government knows about. You kind of get bits and pieces working for the government. And sometimes you could put those bits and pieces into a more complete picture or thought, in terms of things that are going on, like Apophis, the asteroid Apophis. And I know, at the beginning here, you said you wanted to talk about 3-Eye Atlas a little bit, and what's going on with it.
Right.
But
I just want your opinion on it. But I always tell people, David, out of the hundreds of thousands of photographs and videos of either UAPs or Bigfoot or whatever, only one of them has to be real. And you can't tell me
exactly
that one of those aren't real. Huh? So if we have one real one of a UAP or one real one of a Sasquatch, then they exist. I mean,
exactly.
So how many? Yeah, I know some are fake. I know a lot of them are fake, and I know a lot of them can be explained. But there's got to be one out there that is actually real. So, and that's all it takes.
Right.
That's all it takes.
Yeah, and in terms of UFOs and Bigfoot, anything is entirely possible. Could they be the aliens themselves? Maybe, yeah. Could they be an experiment from the aliens? Like we could be an experiment from the aliens. Mm-hmm. Just like we go out in the African savannah, and we shoot lions with tranquilizer darts, and we take them somewhere and do a physical examination,
Yeah.
and then release them back into the wild, and they regain consciousness, and wow, what just happened to me?
Right.
Is that part of the alien abduction phenomenon? I don't know. But it's certainly possible. And what I do know, I believe that this universe is infinitely big and infinitely small at the same time.
Right.
It's kind of like a loop, and everything is connected. Like the one end is connected to the other, like in a donut shape. I think they call it what, a toroid or
Yeah.
a torus shape. And that big and small, they're the same thing. I think sizes in our universe, as well as time, they are both distortions of the dimensions in which we find ourselves. They're distortions. So I think, go ahead.
Different people explain it different ways. Like one way they explain it as above, so below.
Exactly.
The same thing. And the micro universe and the macro universe, they're the same. It's just the same thing exists in them. So yeah, that's a good point.
But they're connected, and if size is a distortion,
yeah,
and they're connected, it's all one big circle. Like Native American legends and their wisdom, the whole circle of life thing, it's all one big circle. And even in Eastern Asian culture and martial arts, I studied martial arts for over 20 years.
right.
In the yin and yang, right?
Yeah.
That everything is one circle, and it's constantly going around, just like the life cycles, like I believe it was the Aztec or Mayan cultures had described in their beliefs. Everything's interconnected, and I think everything is infinitely big and infinitely small all at the same time. I believe that time happens all at once everywhere, but we can only perceive our instant that we are in for some reason, but all time exists around us at once. And I really think I spoke earlier about the consciousness wave. Maybe the real Big Bang was the wave of consciousness that's been spreading out ever since.
Right.
Maybe the reason we experience time in a linear fashion, from one instant to the next, is maybe we are all riding on this wave as it goes out and out and out into each consecutive instant as a multiverse. And maybe we're riding this wave is why we experience time as only going in one direction. These are things I think about late at night, and when I'm sitting waiting for my appointment at the doctor's office. Fun to think about. What do you guys think?
Well, I love the way your mind works.
Yeah.
I love the way your mind works.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that. Because we think about this, what some would say weird stuff all the time. And it's always trying to figure it out. I don't think any of us have exact answers, but I think that many theories that come together are helping to build a bridge.
Absolutely.
So if we're riding this wave out, is there anything really there, or is something we have the ability to create things as we go along on this wave?
Well, yeah, you talk about the theory of what do they call it? It's like reality is constructed by our brains from all of the energy, from all of the frequencies that are around us. We are swimming in an ocean of energy and frequencies, and our solid bodies are just atoms that are packed together more tightly than others that are out there. But in terms of I guess what you're talking about, I forget the name of the theory, but it's like a video game theory that we are living in like a video game or an artificial
Matrix.
like a Matrix kind of universe, in the sense that, and they've proven this, that what we see around us is not rendered until we perceive it. And that's the observer effect coming back again. It takes an observer to create anything. So at that point, what's real and what's not real? So as we go along, I think it's rendering as we go along. And outside our perception, outside, what we see, everything is just a sea of energy and frequency.
It's just, we were talking about this with somebody the other day. You've got like 5 people standing around looking at a picture, and the person on the right side sees a different perspective as the one in front and on the left. So we all have different perspectives of reality,
Right.
and we all see different things. But yet, is it different? No, we're all looking at the same picture, but we just see a different perspective of it.
That's exactly right. And when I taught college, I had a thought experiment with my students, and I said, okay, you have 4 people standing on a street corner, where streets cross, standing on each street corner. They witness an accident that happened in the intersection of that corner. Each one of them saw something completely different, yet all of them are correct. Okay.
Yep.
So when we get back to people who make Bigfoot and UFO reports, same sort of thing. And like I keep going back to it, but Val's database on Bigfoot sightings, and it was recently pointed out to him, somebody who wanted as much credibility as what he's built. And there's people out there that do that by challenging and questioning whatever. But, the data and reports exist. Are they all exactly correct? Are they all true? Probably not. Okay. There's hoaxes. And you know what? Even the people that go out and get FOIA requests for Bigfoot sightings, right? Just because it's a FOIA request and the report comes from the government does not say that it's true. All it says is that it was reported at some point to the government. Okay. And that's all you can say. Could somebody have called in a hoax to the police on a Bigfoot sighting, and then the police decided, well, yeah, make a report? Or the police, right? They send out their rookie officer. Hey, we got one for you. Go take a report, right? We got this. That's what they do when you're a rookie and you show up, and it's like, really? How seriously should I treat this thing, or what? And just not Bigfoot sightings, but other things too, right?
Yeah, right.
So that does happen. So even FOIA requests, you still have to validate the information. And what Val has done with this database of about 2,500 encounters just in Michigan, you look for commonalities, you look for consistencies in reports, like a report from 150 years ago and a report from last week, right?
Yeah.
And all the reports in between, you look for commonalities. Like if they reported certain conduct, certain things that happened, like sound,
the arms being longer or something.
Yeah, the arms being longer, or behavior that these creatures, should they exist, exhibit. And here you have reports that are made from a span of 150 or 200 years before the internet, before even global communication. 150 years ago, they were lucky to get mail back and forth. So these people could not have spoken to one another. Sure, there were books, but books on Bigfoot back in the day really weren't. It was more myth, folklore, and legend than books even back then. So these people that have reports that stretch that far back, and over the course of time, when they come up with the same things, it really lends a lot of credibility to the fact that there is something going on that's unknown, and something that begs to be to be investigated and found out, what's
Yeah.
going on.
Like our show that the other
The
show,
Voices of
Contact, we've
Mhm.
we've done over 100 now, but
Mhm.
we've always talked about, well, these people don't know each other, but yet they're experiencing the same kind of thing.
Exactly.
It's like you said, that gives it credibility and gives you more. Well, there's something going on here because
Mhm.
this person experienced that and this person experienced that. So, yeah, that's a good point.
And I've even to add to that, RJ, to add to that, and UFOs is another subject of mine, and then prehistory is another subject of mine, Bigfoot,
Right.
and things like that. But I remember some cases where people that were abducted remember a person that was sitting on the bench next to them
Mhm.
wherever they were abducted to, waiting for examination, and then these people actually run into each other on the street someday,
Right.
and they had this very same experience that they both can describe and can even recognize each other from having met there. So absolutely,
that gives it some credit, some credence. So
there is
And
so
that's why
much.
it's so important to report things like that.
Yeah, there is
to
so much
find-
going on around us. None of us can really truly appreciate how much that is, but we are even only barely aware of the world around us.
Right.
I remember there was a scientist in the late 1800s, and he was calling for the closure of the U.S. Patent Office, saying everything's been invented, so we don't need the office anymore. And that was in the late 1800s. So science is
it's kind of true. It's kind of true because I just think they're pulling it out of the Akashic records that's already there. You're just picking it out and
Akashic record. And if in fact this field of consciousness exists, like the double slit experiment, is suggestive, that says that if something observes, using their consciousness, observes this experiment, that it changes it. And that would indicate that consciousness is a field and that things like the Akashic record do indeed exist.
Yeah. Was it another experiment? They said it actually everything just turned out the way you thought it would.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just what you think. What you
thoughts create reality.
Yeah, thoughts create
reality. Exactly.
The reality that we perceive.
Right.
Thoughts do create reality, and visualization. That's one thing I learned in the martial arts. Visualization. Thinking about doing something over and over and over again. It's 90% as effective as actually practicing whatever it is. For me, it was martial arts techniques and forms and things like that you would do. And when I was at work, I would think about that. Think about and visualize myself doing it. But not only to visualize yourself doing it, you have to immerse yourself in and create the entire experience. You have to visualize what you're going to see, what you hear, what it feels like, the sounds, the temperature, everything, and create that. And that's what you visualize. And in order to visualize something like that, it can actually make that reality become true.
Right.
So I firmly believe we largely create our own realities and that which is around us.
Like, for instance, somebody putting their hand to a cinder block, right?
I just can't.
You visualize that, and for some it happens, and some others it doesn't. So.
Right.
So what's what you got going on now? What's your journey forward down here? What do you got? Anything coming up?
Wow. That's a great question. Not a whole lot right now. Right now, I am just getting back to southern Michigan from up north, and I was just in the Upper Peninsula as well, visiting with some friends and spending some time up there. I did get out into the woods a little bit. Got to the shores of Lake Superior, and it was beautiful. It was when it was still like 70 degrees up there a few weeks back, and which is amazing for that far north. But
Yeah, we've had
I
a
just-
beautiful fall for
Yeah.
sure.
yeah, I just enjoy the time out. So I'm getting back and kind of, getting everything caught up and reset and ready to go out again. In terms of things coming up, probably a couple of speaking engagements coming up, some podcast appearances, and I am going to be a part of something that is coming up that could be a really cool opportunity and really a cool and fun thing to do. So I look for fun things to do at this point in my life. I really like to find things that I enjoy doing and talking about at this point, and this opportunity. And I'm not going to say what it is right now, but could be really fun. It'll be fun. It'll be a great adventure even. So I'm
We're
looking
gonna
forward
have
to that.
stay in contact.
Yeah, we're going to have
and
to have
run
another
again.
show because we
Absolutely.
I have to apologize to our audience. We've got 2 minutes and the 3-eye atlas never came up, so
Oh, it didn't.
maybe we'll talk about that next time we have you on.
Yeah. 3-eye
Yeah.
atlas is very interesting.
Yeah.
The one thought I could give you with this, I know I need to make it brief, but the one thought I want to give you with this is 3-eye atlas or Oumuamua that came before. What if we could land something like the James Webb Space Telescope on it and let it go on its way and
Yeah.
take pictures for the next 50 years would be amazing.
Yeah.
Or if we could catch up to it with the rocket, one-way trip, right? Put astronauts on it
Yeah.
with like 10 years worth of supplies, right?
Yeah.
That would be amazing. And maybe that's the way to travel to do interstellar travel right now
Yeah.
for us
Mhm.
until we have something better. So
Well, 10 years
I'll leave it
later,
at
you might not come back. You might not come back. So-
not too soon anyway, right?
Right.
Right.
But thank you guys so much for having me. It's always amazing
you.
and such a pleasure being on.
Yeah.
I encourage
thank
all
you,
of our
David.
listeners to follow you for sure. And anything that you have coming up, post it, let us know, we'll announce it. Anything we do, you're welcome to be there because we love you. So
Awesome. You guys are great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being on. Brendan, yes, we need to talk. Any final thoughts from either of you before we close it out?
Well, we covered quite a bit, and we always do
Yeah.
with you, and it's amazing. So we always say we have to have another show, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I would like to take
go on.
I'd like to take anything we talked about today and dive into it a lot deeper. It would be
Okay.
really cool. So
Yes.
look forward to it. You guys take care.
All right.
You too.
Thanks,
Stay well.
Dave.
Stay-
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Everybody have a
Bye.
fantastic
audience.
week. And until we meet again, may all of your awakenings be mystical.
Bye.
Good night, everybody. We love you.